Well, hey, it's Mac, and hey, it's time to revisit our burning question of the week. And so last week, the question was, which celebrity did you happen to bump into? And I think I shared my story that it's probably about 12 years ago. I was on the little puddle jumper shuttle that goes from Baltimore to New York City. I was going to do a workshop up there. And so I got on as one of the ones that have the propellers on it. So I noticed there was this little bald guy, and he had dark sunglasses on. So he got up and he got into the back seat. And then I realized that it was Montel Williams. Well, right about that time, a bunch of middle school girls got on. They were making all kinds of noise. And he stood up and he says, "All right, you know who I am." He had a hat, he took it off. He says, "I don't want to hear a word out of any of you this entire flight." And even I was a little nervous. I was going to try to talk to him, but I thought, forget it. If he yelled at them, he's certainly going to yell at me. So that was my one brush with fame, I guess. But several of you have written in, so this is a good one here. I got one, so this is from Dee, and actually that's her first name is Dee. I'm going to start using people's first names because, hey, if they had the experience, they should get the credit for it, right? So this one started here. Let me pull this email up for you. And so she says, "I've met a lot of famous people, actors, singers, musicians, politicians, media personalities, athletes, etc., and I'm still in touch with a lot of them. I remember when I was young, my mom and I got to meet Desi Arnaz. He was very nice and talked with us for a little while. My mom had him autograph his book. He wrote an autobiography." So if you don't know who he is on the show I Love Lucy, right? So that was a long time ago. Well, I was a little intrigued. I want to know what other celebrities. So I asked, and she says, and just to name a few, by the way, I met someone who owned a restaurant, and he was also a professional drummer. I met the lead singer and the drummer for a band called Casey and the Sunshine Band. They were no longer performing by then. Tom Lofgren, who is singer-musician. You may have heard of his brother Nils Lofgren. And then I met Regis Philbin when I was on a game show. And I met Jack Hanna. He was known as Jungle Jack and had a few television shows, Jack Hanna's Into the Wild and Jack Hanna's Wild Countdown. Plus, of course, he's on all those talk shows. And she has a photo with him. I met Senator Ted Kennedy when I was on a field trip in elementary school. He was very nice. I knew Ray Dowell, who's an actress. She was in the movie Boomerang. She's Gotta Have It, and Malcolm X. She dated Forrest Whitaker. I've met and known NFL football players too. So wow, that's probably the most celebrities I've ever heard a person who's not a celebrity actually meet. But is Dee herself a celebrity? We'll find out this week. All right, we also got one from Jill. And so this is for this week. She said, "The most famous person I have met is William Shatner. I'm a complete Star Trek nerd, and last year a coworker and I took a weekend and went to the Star Trek Museum in Ticonderoga, New York. We spent the weekend having a tour of the museum by William Shatner, having pictures taken, having dinner with him, listening to his stories of shooting the series, the friendships he had with his co-stars, and a question and answer session on the bridge of the Enterprise. He also touched on his personal journey into the space in the Blue Origin space shuttle. It was an experience I never thought I would have, and I'm so glad that I did." So again, this is really cool. Not only do you meet the celebrity, but this is in a genre that you are just excited to be in. And then the last one is from Christy. And so Christy said, "The most famous person I've ever met." That's a tough one. Kirk Herbstreit. I met him at an Ohio State University football game. My husband played football with him in college. He was very nice, but I didn't really get to talk to him. So, it's really neat. I know many of you probably didn't answer because you didn't want me to call you out, but it's pretty cool when you meet a celebrity, isn't it? But wouldn't it be even more cool if, you were the celebrity and people came to meet you? Well, in this week's post, we're going to talk about ways that you too can be that celebrity. So I hope that you'll enjoy that, and I hope you'll enjoy this coming up burning question of the week. We'll give that to you in a little bit. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.